You already know this kanji hakaru. It's read as hakaru and it means to measure. For example, うちから学校まで歩く時間を測りました。I measured the time it takes to walk from home to school. Simple, right? At this point, you might think, okay, this just means to measure. But as you keep studying Japanese kanji, something strange happens. You start seeing more and more different kanji, all read as hakaru, and surprisingly, many of them also mean to measure. In fact, I found 45 different kanji that can be read as hakaru. So how are you supposed to know which one to use? Let's look at some examples. この箱の長さを測ります。I measure the length of this box. この箱の重さを測ります。I measure the weight of this box. このストップウォッチで時間を測ります。I measure time with this stopwatch. Do you know what kanji to use for each? The answer is this. All three are hakaru, but written differently. Why? Here's the good news. Many of these 45 kanji you saw aren't commonly used in everyday life. In fact, most Japanese people will never use them in their lives, and you don't need all of them. But you do need to know which ones matter. The good news is that by the end of this video, you will understand the differences between these 6 meanings. Let's look at commonly used 6 kanji for hakaru. This diagram shows the most commonly used kanji for hakaru, and we can divide them into 3 categories. When measuring time or counting numbers, use this kanji. When measuring width, height, and area, use this kanji. When measuring weight and quantity, use this kanji. As you can see, each kanji has its own specific type of measurement. Once you separate them this way, the differences become much easier to understand. Now, let's move on to the planning category. When you plan towards a goal, use this kanji. Then we have this one with a clearly negative meaning. It means to plot or scheme something dishonest or deceptive. And finally, we have the last category, which has only one kanji. This one is used when consulting someone, a committee, or an organization. You'll typically see it in very formal settings such as business meetings or government contexts. So now you know the meanings of each one, but understanding them is only the first step. Let's look at some real examples next. Let's start by looking at 3 kanji that all mean to measure. シロップ剤は1回分を測って飲んでください。For liquid medicine, measure a single dose and then take it. To measure weight and quantity, you use this kanji for 測る。この部屋の大きさを測ってから家具を買います。I will buy furniture after measuring the size of the room. To measure length or area, use this kanji for 測る。歩数計は歩数を測るためのツールです。A pedometer is a tool to count the number of steps. To measure time or to count numbers, use this kanji for 測る。As you can clearly see, quantity, length, and number are measured using different kanji. Now, let's do a quiz. この犬の体重を測ったら 5.5 キロでした。When I measured the weight of this dog, it was 5.5 kilos. Which kanji do you use for this? The answer is the left one. This kanji is always used to measure weight. Let's do another quiz. 身長を測ってみましたが同じぐらいでした。I tried to measure their heights, but they were about the same. How about this one? The answer is the last one, because it's measuring the length. Let's move on to the kanji for 測る that means to plan. 友達が便宜を図ってほしいと言った。My friend said that he wanted me to do him a favor. 便宜を図る is a common expression that means to provide assistance or make arrangements to facilitate something to make the situation more favorable. It's often used in business, government, and other formal contexts. It basically means to devise a plan to help someone. 会社の再建を図るために新しい社長が就任しました。A new president was appointed in an attempt to rebuild the company. As you can see, this kanji is typically used in newspapers, official documents, and other formal contexts. あの人たちはまた悪巧みを図っています。Those people are plotting something bad again. This kanji is used when planning something bad. Since the last set only has one kanji, let's look at examples first before we do another quiz. This hakaru means to consult. 専門家に諮って検討します。We will consider it in consultation with experts. これは委員会に諮る必要があります。This requires consultation with the committee. As you can see, this expression is often used on formal contexts. Let's do the last quiz. タイミングを計って両親に婚約したことを知らせた。After waiting for the right time, I told my parents that I got engaged. Which one is the correct one? It's the middle one because it's about timing. Here's the final summary. The first three kanji mean to measure, but you use a different one depending on what you are measuring. The next two mean to plan, but the last kanji is only used when someone is plotting something bad. The last kanji means to consult. Even native Japanese speakers sometimes get confused, and in some cases, more than one kanji may be considered acceptable. That's what makes hakaru so complex. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also join the daily quiz to test your Japanese knowledge. Be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video when it's released. Thank you for watching.